The thing I love so much about NCLR is that we're a small national organization, but we have an enormous footprint. Our space in the movement is doing something that we've never done before by including more people. We don't want to be doing this work on our own. What we want to be doing is finding new ways to do work, finding new ways to include folks, and then for other organizations to follow our lead in that way.
Whether it's helping to win marriage equality for the whole country, to transform the face of family law in this country, to create one of the most effective asylum programs in the country, or to pass more laws protecting youth from conversion therapy than any other group in the country, we're always focused on results and always focused on trying to create programs that actually achieve the goals that we set out to achieve.
Since its inception, NCLR has been fighting for the rights of LGBTQ parents and families. NCLR was the first organization in the country specifically founded to assist gay and lesbian parents in obtaining custody and visitation rights over their children.
NCLR spearheaded the movement to combat conversion therapy long before we created Born Perfect. And in 2012, we introduced the first legislative ban right here in California, becoming the first state to protect LGBTQ youth from so-called conversion therapy. And since then, 20 US states and over 120 US cities have passed laws protecting LGBTQ youth.
NCLR helped lead the effort to release the first national LGBTQ anti-poverty agenda. We've been, really engaging in efforts to expand the conversation around what is an LGBTQ issue, particularly within the realm of economic justice.
NCLR was the first organization to have a project specifically focused on transgender youth. Youth work is so critical because we are really changing the life trajectories of young people. We're among the most marginalized, especially with the ongoing and persistent political attack, essentially saying that to affirm your transgender child is child abuse, and we are going to be investigating and removing children from loving and supportive homes. So we filed our lawsuit challenging SB 184, which is a law in Alabama that criminalizes parents and providers for providing access to transition-related medical care to transgender young people. And we immediately sought injunction and ultimately got an amazing ruling from the judge stopping the law from continuing to go into effect. It had gone into effect for 6 days, which were 6 very scary days for our clients. They could have been arrested and prosecuted with a felony and face up to 10 years in jail. Our clients breathed a huge sigh of relief because, frankly, they were ready to go to prison, right? They were ready to do whatever it takes, as any parent would, to protect their child. We've heard from countless families in Alabama who, have decided not to move out of Alabama as a result, and who can finally feel like Alabama is still home to them.
Here at NCLR, we are the first LGBTQ+ organization that has created an immigration and asylum project. It has been around 26 years, and over that span of time, we have never lost a case. We recently helped a couple that fled from El Salvador due to violence, threats, and mistreatment because of their sexual orientation. They fled individually, and one of the women left with her child, and the other one, she had to leave their children in order to be safe. After she was granted asylum, we were able to do a derivative application for their children to be able to come into the United States. It has been almost 10 years, them being separated, and a month ago, the kids finally came and reunited with their mothers. And just knowing that they're able to love each other and be in a safe environment, I think that that's incredible.
When people call our helpline, often it's the first time they're talking to somebody who is really on their side. But we're a national organization, right? What people really need is to have somebody on their side where they are, who knows their courts, who knows their state, who knows their community. And that's what a culturally competent legal aid lawyer can provide. So over 15 years ago, together with California Rural Legal Assistance, we started building this network of legal aid attorneys across the country who wanted to serve LGBTQ clients and wanted their organizations to come along with them. And now we've built that to well over 40 plus legal aid organizations across the country, from Nebraska to Texas, Wisconsin, Florida. And that's what NCLR is trying to do, to make the gains of the queer movement real wherever you are. Right now, what's on my mind is our Rural Pride Summit in North Dakota. You know, when you meet like a non-binary queer young person from a town of about 1,000 people who has decided to start a GSA and finds like 3 other kids in their school to do it with, and their parents come up to you and ask you, can we help in any way to help that go better? And that's when we know we're winning.
We have a case in Utah where we sued the state because they passed a law banning transgender girls from playing on girls' sports teams. And we traveled to Utah, and I got to the hotel, and on the table was this card, and it was from one of our clients, like one of our kids. And she wrote this amazing, sweet note, and it said something to the effect of, you know, I can't believe that you would come here when you don't even know us, and you would travel so far, and you would do this for us. But, you know, we do know you, because we know that you're a kid who wants to be surrounded by people who love you, where you can thrive, where people aren't just tolerating you, but they're celebrating you. And we're gonna be the people who fight for you. And that's our job, and it is a privilege to do that work. So we won at that hearing, and the judge ruled that the state cannot enforce the law while the rest of the case proceeds. So right now, transgender girls can play on girls' sports teams just as they have before that law was enacted.
If you want to know the issues that the movement will be focused on in 5 years, look at the issues that NCLR is focused on today.
The future of NCLR is to create the most inclusive movement where every LGBTQ person can see themselves reflected. And in order to get there, it's going to take all of us.